was all about, I'm like, look, we can get rid of shedding the snake.
Yeah, I
in
did.
Chinese
I
New
did
Year.
take the trash out.
I know I showed up to the note and they were like, Happy New Year. I was like, oh, I wish New Year's today. Why did you remind me?
I did not sweep my Florida.
I did.
I didn't do any of that, girls. I didn't. Well, yeah, I just now heard about it and I was like, oops, I already fell. I wasn't here that time.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with our core value. Today, we're going to be talking about some things that I've got paperwork here for you guys. And if you're online, it's in the link is already in the chat thread, and it's also on the brokerage announcements channel. So you can go and download the handout that I'm going to hand out to the agents here in the office in a little while. We're going to talk about the lack of communication is a lack of performance. Communication isn't separate from your work, it's part of it. Doing the task isn't enough if you don't communicate progress or completion. Failing to close the loop creates confusion, delays, and stress for others. We expect every team member to communicate clearly, follow up, and confirm completion. The goal isn't to avoid mistakes, it's to avoid silence. Clear communication builds trust, accountability, and performance. And for example, if you're waiting on a response from another agent or contractor, send a quick update to the client instead of going silent. That's usually the best way to do that. Okay, so today our breakfast sponsor is Jackie. Is it Han? Han. And she is with TexInspec, and I've used TexInspec. I'm sure you guys have used them a couple of times.
Yep.
But she's brought some stuff for us. So Jackie, the floor is yours.
So I want to tell you all about the great reasons why you should choose TexInspec. But first, would it be okay if I tell you a whole story?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So there are these two guys, right? One's an older guy and one's a kind of younger guy. And the younger guy is all into his devices and technologies, and they both work for the gas company, right? And they're going down the street, they're going house to house, they're checking the meters. All of a sudden, the younger guy starts showing off his new device, his new phone to the older guy and his Tinder account. And the older guy's like, you might be able to outdo me with all your technologies and devices back, but I can still beat you in a foot race. And he takes off running to the truck. And the younger guy takes off running after him. And they're huffing and puffing. They get almost to the truck and they see this old lady with her walker, just going as fast as she can go. And they're like, ma'am, are you okay? She said, yeah, I saw two fellas from the gas company running like the Dickens. I figured I better keep up. The whole point of the story is that during the whole real estate transaction, you want to stay the cool, calm, collected, professional, right? And that's what TexInspec does. We want to deliver, especially when your inspector's there, right? You want to deliver the information in a way that doesn't alarm your clients. So we use what we call the Goldilocks effect, right? We deliver the information not too hot, not too cold, but just right. We stay right in the middle, charge neutral where we should be. We want to make sure that we don't alarm your clients. Other things that we do that give your clients peace of mind is we give you warranties and guarantees with every single inspection that they won't get with other inspectors. Excuse me, I'm running out of breath here. So, and then all of our inspectors are licensed to do termite inspection. And so you don't have to call a separate company or worry about if the pest control company has a super key and all of that. We can get all of that done for you right at the time of the inspection. The warranties and guarantees that I was talking about, we have a 90-day warranty with a $0 deductible, and it's designed to cover anything that stops working from the time of the inspection to when your clients move in. Also, the termite inspection that I mentioned comes with a 90-day warranty. So that is different from other warranties that companies are offering out there because ours starts right at the time of the inspection. So even if the inspector steps out of his van and finds termites or carpenter ants, your clients can have them treated for a small deductible. We also give a 5-year leak-free guarantee on the roof. So if it's not leaking at the time of the inspection, they have 5 years of free coverage for that. We also give you something called Sewer Guard, or the clients. What that does is it covers the line that goes from the house through the yard to the main sewer line. A lot of the warranties that are out there only cover the drainage pipes under the home, so that's a great one to have as well. Like I said,
that one?
there are 90 days. If your client does choose to get a sewer scope done with us, which they are only $197, so it's a really good price that we offer on the sewer scopes as well. If they get the sewer scope done, it extends that warranty out from 1 year, from 90 days to 1 year. So, and yeah. And then something else that I was going to mention to y'all today is we cover Dallas, Tarrant, and 13 surrounding counties. So if you have something a little farther out, we can do that. We also have a Spanish-speaking inspector. So if you need that for your clients, you can request that as well. What a new thing that we're doing is we're branching out to the Waco, Austin area. So if you know anybody that's looking there or works there that would need a great inspector, refer TexInspec. We have a deal right now that if someone refers someone in our Austin or Waco area, they will get $100 off their next client's inspection that they use with us.
Nice.
So that's just a little incentive thing to kind of
Absolutely.
work up business there. So
How much is your termite inspection?
our termite inspections, they are based on square footage, but they used to be like around $100 for the termite for under 2,000, and then it was like 147. I think they changed the prices, so don't quote me on that.
In that vicinity?
Yeah,
100 to 150 in that
somewhere,
vicinity.
somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yes, that's with the home inspection.
With the home inspection, yeah, okay.
And then we also do mold testing. We, test sprinklers, pools. We do phase inspections as well. We also do commercial inspections. If anybody works in commercial deals, I don't know if you do or not, but does anybody have any questions?
Water wells,
Do what?
well inspection? water
Well,
well?
and we do water testing as well.
about pools?
Pools, we do pools. We also do foundation elevation surveys. You're talking about the guy that wanted to measure every little thing. We
Mhm.
offer those. We do foundation elevation surveys, sewer scopes, like I said, mold testing. Trying to think, I'm sure we do separate structures, things like that.
That's greatness.
Yeah,
That's a lot. I mean, that's more than I thought that y'all covered.
yeah, we do a lot. You're like your one-stop shop for inspections.
Okay,
So, and then, also two more things that I brought these cards with me today. So if you fill these out, we'll enter you for a chance to win a trip for two to Ireland that we give away in January. And we give away one every January, so it's a trip for two. And then we'll also send you our Monday morning motivators, which is a one-page little email inspirational quote that's designed for you to take our information off, put your information on, and you can boost it out to your sphere influence if you wish. And then these are great when you're presenting TexInspec to your clients, which we hope you do. We work on referrals just like you do, and they're good for $10 all the way up to a free home inspection, and they scratch those off right at the time of the inspection. And we do give away about 2 free home inspections a year, so make sure they get those, so they'll always get a discount. We offer other discounts such as a heroes discount for teachers, doctors, police officers, military or ex-military. We give a $50 what we call heroes discount. So if your clients qualify for any of that, ask for that. We also do something called a buyer protection guarantee. So that means if the contract falls through for financing or whatever reason, TexInspec will take $100 off the next home that they attempt to have inspected, all the way up till they find their forever home.
oh, nice.
So
That's a lot of stuff.
Inspection.
Do what?
And then-
Non-inspection later.
No, that's just you.
hopefully
You and
not.
Danielle.
Hopefully not, but you never know, but hopefully not. But also we do give a 48-hour guarantee because we have a fully staffed office and we have a true online scheduling. So even if your client's thinking about the home in the middle of the night, wants to schedule it, we get access. We take care of all the access and all of that. So we'll get access for it the next day. What was that? Where was I going with that? Oh, so we have the 48-hour guarantee. So if we don't get you scheduled or your client scheduled within 48 hours of calling in, we take $100 off the inspection also. We also guarantee that none of our inspectors will alarm, like I was talking about.
Mhm.
So if one of them says something like, oh my gosh, this could burn the house down, and it's called our OMG guarantee. So if he says something alarming at the time of the inspection, he himself would owe you $100, and we've never had to pay out on that. So he's not
That's
there.
good, that's pretty good. I really, my brain immediately went to that sewer line coverage because that's not covered. And I've had 2 houses from like a flipper that went bad 40 days after people closed on the house. Even though the flipper didn't touch the sewer line, it went bad and it was like $30,000.
So you inspect that line from street to house?
What we do is they run the water through the home for like really one time, but you can't see everything down in the lines.
Yeah.
So we do recommend, especially on new builds, the sewer scope because of the amount of people that touch that job during the process. You know from the things get put down in the lines on accident.
Construction
and-
material.
Did we have that?
So,
Oh, no.
I think that's a super unique feature to have that guarantee on that sewer line.
Yeah, those warranties that I told you about come with the inspection price, and they're good for 90 days. So,
That's
and
good.
then, but if you want to, we have the roof protection, you can extend it out, your clients can, and if they want, we partner with RWS Residential Warranty Service to give the warranties. And just for having TexInspec inspect the home, they will offer your clients 18 months of home warranty for the price of 12 as well.
For what warranty, I'm sorry? What home warranty company?
The warranty that I was talking about, we give with the price of the inspection for 90 days, and we partner with RWS Residential Warranty Service. But just for having the home inspected with TexInspec, that RWS will offer your clients 18 months of home warranty for the price of 12,
And the seller can still pay for that, right?
if they wish.
In the
I
contract.
just put, yeah, I always
Yeah.
put on the
Contract, absolutely.
warranty, so I just didn't want it to be like, oh, the buyer paid for the inspections and the buyer has to
That's
pay for the
really, I mean,
warranty.
that's really pretty good, I mean, negotiating, Adam, is that we get y'all to inspect it, you guarantee it for 90 days, we get to cover you for, what, 18 months?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a really good deal. And, you know, with the cast iron, because everything was cast iron up till 1992. They were putting in cast iron drains. So everything built before 92 has that cast iron, and it only has a shelf life of 50 years. So everything built from like 75 back, that cast iron is at risk at this point. And so having them, if you're doing a mid-century somewhere, great idea to have that extra coverage. It's included in the price, and or get the camera. That'd be a great idea. Yeah. Great idea. So thank you, Jackie.
My pleasure.
Well, you enlightened me the crap out of me today. That's awesome.
Well, great. Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate
Thank
y'all's
you.
time,
Thank you
and
for
I'm
breaking
sure I
time.
don't know what I did with my phone.
Oh,
Put it behind me.
Okay.
thank you, Jackie.
you.
Appreciate it.
Nice meeting
Nice
everyone.
to meet
Nice
you.
to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Well, awesome. That's, I really did learn quite a lot there.
Yeah.
There were a couple of great ideas. Hope everybody else got something out of that too as well. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it. I'll send
If
you.
y'all want to fill out the cards, we come in all the time. We can gather them up next time I come in if y'all want.
Thank
I don't
you.
know what's-
Thank
All right, thank you, Jackie. I'll send you an email this afternoon. Okay, so headlines. Today we're going to head into your Guide to Texas Real Estate Week 2, which is contract deadlines and dates. Next week, we've got Liz Deacon and McKnight coming in, and we're going to do week 3 inspections. So that might have some stuff come out of this for that. March the 4th, Jamie's going to come back and do the second class on AI for real humans. The spring photo shoot is totally booked up now at Highland Homes on the 25th. That's after the meeting. And then on the day after that, Thursday, is the town hall. And I forgot to take one presentation off. That was last week. Hello. How are you?
Well, how are you?
So let's hit the market. So last week's, the national market update is inventory is trending higher than this time last year, giving buyers more options as we move towards spring. Buyer activity remains steady, and builders are optimistic about stronger transaction growth in 26, pointing to a stable, active market heading into the season. Last week's review, markets moved up and down last week as investors reacted to new inflation data and awaited further signals from the Federal Reserve, finishing mixed but still near recent highs. Despite some uncertainty around future rate timing, consumer spending and low jobless claims point to a resilient economy as housing activity builds through spring. This week, the reports on housing starts, building permits, existing home sales will give insight into construction activity and whether buyer demand is staying steady as inventory improves. Retail sales and consumer sentiment will also help measure household confidence, a key driver of housing momentum heading further into the first quarter. Bottom line, this is a preparation and positioning market, not a panic market. Agents who stay proactive, communicate clearly, and guide clients with calm confidence are the ones who will capture the spring activity as it unfolds. Rate watch. Rates are drifting, not dropping. Mortgage rates have moved modestly within a tight band this last week. No breakout move, just gradual adjustments as markets digest inflation and Fed signals. The Fed is signaling patience. Recent data shows inflation cooling, slowly, and the labor market staying steady, reinforcing a hold and watch stance rather than urgent cuts. I pulled this little snippet right here out of something that came out of Real Estate News, REN, and this is overall buyer expectations are high and perhaps misguided. 2/3 of those surveyed expect a mortgage rate under 6% today. Some expecting even lower rates not seen in years. 1 in 4 buyers are optimistic about finding great recession-era rates under 4%, and 37 believing that those are the only good rates. So it's a re-education process from us to our clients. Rates are in the 6s. They're going to stay high 5s, low 6s. Let's move forward. It's more about planning and positioning than it is about the rate. The rate environment is stable enough for clients to plan around. The opportunity isn't predicting the next move. It's in helping buyers and sellers make smart decisions in today's range. Here's the rate watch from last week. We were at 6.11. This morning at 4:30 a.m. when I got up, it was 6.04. So we're right at the 6% mark. FHA is down at 5.63. You guys can see that's significantly lower than we were in March of last year. So we've got really good movement in the last 9 months, 10 months as we get close to this. Here's Clarissa's view for, sorry, Clarissa, you know that's going to be what this is called from now on. I see it. I see you talking over there with your hands. So anyway, here's pick out your county or look at the full MLS. The price decreases last week, 3,400. Half of those were just in our 6 counties that we look at. The 6 counties are these 6 counties combined right here. There were 1,645 price decreases. These 6 counties are making up half of the MLS. Okay, local market. Luxury and upper price points are taking longer. Homes above the median price are seeing longer days on market, more negotiation activity, reinforcing the need for strategic pricing and strong presentation. Spring listings are starting early because we've gotten warm really quick here after the freeze, what, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago? It's got warm, things have started heating up a little bit. More homeowners are listing sooner than usual, creating a front-loaded inventory build before peak spring, meaning early competition is real. Bottom line, DFW is not slowing, it's stagnating. Price point, preparation, positioning matter more than ever. Agents who know the micro market numbers, not just the headlines, will lead the conversations that convert. Local builder updates. So this is something I think we're going to have to keep an eye on, and that's why I put it in here, is we need to see what the builders are doing, because that's going to influence the market across the board. Resale homes are competing harder with builders. In several DFW submarkets, resale homes under the median price are moving, only when they're priced sharply against builder incentives and rate buydowns. So if you're pricing a home, not that you're going to comp to a new build, but you need to look at the new builds that are near you. And there are new builds pretty much everywhere. But it's something, if you're pricing a home, you need to look at those new build numbers to compare to make sure that your number is at least in the range where you can compete with the builder. You know, the old real estate rule of thumb, if you show a buyer a new home and a pre-owned home, they buy the new home every time.
Yeah, I try to really I try to stay away from the steering factor. So I show them the pre-existing, then I go to new construction.
That's fine.
And at least we brush by that.
Rate buydowns become targeted, not blanket. Instead of a broad 4 to 6% package, many builders are shifting to specific rate buydowns tied to preferred lenders or quick close homes, rewarding serious buyers. Case in point, I had a buyer in Aledo. She got $30,000 just by using builder's lender.
Wow.
Significant. I mean, it was about 8% of the house price. Spec inventory is driving short-term deals. Builders are prioritizing completed or near complete homes before ramping up new starts, creating stronger leverage for buyers ready to move in 30 to 60 days. If your client is considering new, be sure and look at what's been on the market for 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones the builder's really ready to move something on, and they do have flexibility. You can offer them a little bit lower and see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll come back and say, no, we want list price, but we'll give you $30,000 if you use our lender. Okay. Bottom line, builder leverage is still strong, but it's more strategic now. Agents who know which communities have finished inventory and lender-backed incentives can unlock real savings for buyers. I'm going to be pulling these numbers every week because I think that they tell us a really good story about Tarrant County. And I can't do all the counties because it takes me 45 minutes to get Clarissa's view set up properly. But at least looking at Tarrant County gives us the anchor point for the western side of the Metroplex, and watching builder construction, how many new listings came on in 7 days, how many price decreased, how many closed. I think that those numbers are going to be very important as we move through the spring. This is the full MLS here on the right. So that's going to be a much broader picture, because then you're going to start talking about some really far outlying counties, like the south side of Hood County, south side of Johnson County, where they're building new construction. But those are going to pick up here. They're not going to pick up on that core of Tarrant County. So I'm going to keep this slide in here. I think it's nothing that we have to do something about. It's just something we need to keep an eye on. One easy way to use this week's data: run one spring strategy call, not a check-in. Call or text one buyer and or seller and say, spring inventory is building. Some price points are moving differently than others. If you were making a move in the next 3 to 6 months, what would we need to get right from day one? To set priorities. This week's data shows inventory rising, but not evenly. Upper price points are taking longer. Builders are getting more strategic. The market is segmenting, not stalling. So we're shifting conversations from "Are you ready?" to "What will it take to do this well?" Mainly with a buyer. I'm going to use this with my sellers this week because I've got 6 listings that are coming soon. You know what I mean? They're in the backlog. So I want to get these people ready. Hey, inventory starting to pick up a little bit. Do you want to be on the front side of that curve? Or do you want to be in the middle? Or do you want to be on the back side of that curve?
So when we say segmenting, is that hyperlocals at the same time?
It's segmenting. So like where houses over, even during the 7s and 8, when we got up to the high 7 interest rates, the $1 million market was still moving fairly solidly, and it's slowed down some. So it's segmenting. People are, and especially with those numbers about the buyers, I think 37% of the buyers think that they're going to wait till it gets down to 4% in the 4s. That's a third of the market that's just left out at this point.
But do you think that there's a lot of anticipation on the switch with Fed Chairman?
Still wireless.
I'm not that pays attention to that, but do you think that?
But her computer has to be on the.
There it goes, network.
I feel like it.
Hey, Patty, hit your space.
How when you guys?
Go up to the Wi-Fi.
Hey, Patty.
I'm still Spectrum.
Like the TV.
TV set
You can mute her.
You can mute her.
entire screen.
Come on, man. Yeah, feel like I'm being rude.
You did the whole basic like undo.
Oh,
Okay, we're working on this. Hold on. We're gonna get there.
They probably do. Because
So
they're
we're
not hearing us.
Yes, it gives me.
Okay. So your question was,
The Fed chair switch in May.
okay, but the Fed, you gotta remember, the Fed rate doesn't actually affect mortgage rates. It affects the
No, I
buyers.
know that, but I'm just saying, the basic everyday consumer doesn't know that. Like they don't understand, because we explain that again and again and again. I'm just saying, because it'll be a major change after, what's his name, Jerome Powell.
Mhm.
You bring in somebody that controversially Trump assigns, there's a lot of anticipation that they're gonna do all sorts of crazy things.
Well,
So do you
that-
think the consumers
I
are
think
waiting
that's a
for that?
realist, I think that's a realistic way to approach it, or a way of thinking, to say, is that possible?
Yeah.
Will that affect interest rates? It could.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about it affecting interest rates. I'm just talking
Well,
about it
buyer
affecting
behavior.
comment.
She's talking about like
I'm
they
talking
think
consumer
it's gonna.
confidence.
The
Yeah,
buyer,
that's
they
what I'm
just
saying. Like,
believe it.
is
might,
everybody
so
like,
they're waiting.
oh, we're not gonna do anything in the spring. We're gonna wait till third quarter because we want to see if we have like,
I think that's realistic, but are they gonna wait and see? And that's a good talking
Yeah.
point for you to say, when interest rates drop, mortgage rates usually go up.
right,
So
right.
if you're waiting for that person to do something and drop the rate, are you waiting for that
Because that was
person?
like yesterday, like
To raise the rate.
I was on a phone call with a buyer that of course has moved from Arizona to Houston and now he's here. And he's bounced around a couple of times from Arizona and Houston, whatever. And he's like, well, I don't know to buy. And I was like, honestly, my opinion, been in business 13 years. This is probably the best time since the pandemic I've seen to buy a house.
I agree. Totally agree.
With interest rates have dropped,
And
there's
there's
made
more
the price
inventory.
correction, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sellers are softer too.
right, yeah, after,
They're not so staunch. It's like, no, my
yeah,
house is
after,
right
yeah,
there.
18 months,
to-
yeah.
To sort of your point, one easy suggestion what to do this week is to run one positioning audit with a client. call or text one buyer and say, the market isn't slow, it's splitting. Some price points are moving fast, others are negotiating more. If we were listening or buying at your rates today, what would need to be true for you to feel confident? And then you can have that conversation about, is the Fed chair? If that's a concern to them, is that a big deal? Do you think that that's going to affect?
I know I'm a nerd. I watch the news. My biggest thing is not the rates. It's not
Agreed.
the corrections. It's the consumer confidence that we really struggle with right now.
Well, and we have 33% of the market, 37% of the market that believes that rates are going to drop another point. So you're limiting your buyer pool right
Well,
off the bat.
so that's what I'm seeing with listings, because I don't have any buyers. So I'm seeing it with listings. People are like, well, do we even take this offer or do we just wait for another one? Because once buyers jump in, then it's gonna be like multiple offers. Well, we don't know that. And right now you have an offer and we don't know what the future looks like.
Does
I
it
have an
really
offer.
matter?
I have an offer sitting in DocuSign right now because they got another showing request. So
They want to wait.
they want to
Are
wait.
they buying?
Oh, no, no, they've already.
They're just selling.
They're just
Yeah.
selling. Not buying.
And that's the hang up when we're seeing one-sided sellers. is,
Yes.
I mean, why?
True.
I mean, why? If they're having to move and buy somewhere else, they should absolutely capitalize on it now so that they can negotiate on this side.
Exactly,
Because in
but I
3
think
months
to
it
your
won't be that
point
way.
is that the buyer confidence
Well,
and seller or the community, whatever you said,
Confidence.
Yeah.
Consumer confidence.
confidence on both sides.
Yes.
And but they want us to like read a magic ball and all
And know
we're
that you're
doing is
gonna get a better
making
offer.
guesses. There's no way we can know whether you're gonna get a better offer or when you buy, if it's gonna be lower than the.
Well, okay, so then if you get that offer, maybe you have that conversation. Okay, so you're waiting for a better offer. What would make this a better offer?
Yeah,
Let's negotiate that.
yeah, exactly.
Let's start there.
Yep.
We're gonna get that in just a second. Okay, so did you know February is when new listings begin to ramp up ahead of peak spring activity, meaning selection often improves before competition does. That just makes perfect sense. If you
Okay,
think
wait,
about it, because
selection
the spring market begins in around spring break. Middle of March is the traditional beginning of the spring selling season. So February, when new listings are coming on, people are getting ready for that spring selling season, and they come on in February hoping to attract a buyer that's not waiting for spring break. Traditionally, January 1st through March the 10th is the best time to buy a house. Traditionally.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
You can watch the video.
January 1st through March 10th is the best time to buy a house.
Yes.
Agreed.
But the best time for a seller is probably March 10th to July 1st.
Agreed. June 1st.
Okay.
March 10th through June 1st is
Okay.
the spring selling season, because what we see traditionally, not during pandemic, we have to count those years out, but we see June slow down massively. And by the time you're closing everything in June that you sold in April and May, and then by the middle of July, it starts to slow down again. That's just the traditional cycle that we see. Business tips: start each day by writing down your top 3 priorities. Make them the 3 things that best align with your goals. They will have the most impact. If you've not seen my Sunday planning, what do they call that? I did a video, it's on YouTube, about the Sunday planning system, where Sunday night I sit down and go, I'm going to get these 3 things done this week, and I work on those things until it's done. That's how my world works. But not everybody works that way, and it's okay. But top three priorities every day is a good goal to have, so that they have the most impact. So last week we discussed how buyer representation establishes and builds trust. Deadlines protect trust. Dates protect leverage. If you don't own the calendar, you don't own leverage. And then this is something that my brain popped up: is pros manage dates, amateurs manage surprises. If you're not expecting something, obviously it's a surprise. But if you're counting on something, thinking ahead on something, then it really does make a big difference. I need to jump over real quick and let me present this other, present something else. And then we'll go here. Okay, so you guys online in Mansfield and online in the chat, the text thread here on Google Meet is a link to this package that I'm handing out to the guys here in the office. It's also on the brokerage announcements channel on Slack. I will remove that link later and put up all the links that I usually do, just so you guys have those. So this is what we're going to try to go through, or what we're going to go through next is contract dates and deadlines. So I'm going to refer this back to our core value for today, which is a lack of communication is a lack of performance. We read through the first part, But here's the bottom line for what we're talking about and how this relates to the contract dates and deadlines class. Silence costs leverage. If a deadline matters, communicate before, during, and after. If you didn't confirm it, it's not done. Performance includes the following. That's title, that's lender, that's putting those things on your calendar and following up with those. And I'm going to show you my thought process of how this works. So why this exists. So closing 50, 70 deals a year, I kept seeing the same pattern, questions, confusion, friction. Not because sometimes were difficult, which they are, but because expectations weren't clear. Built this system that covers agency compliance, negotiations, and the deadlines that protect rights and leverage. Not a script, not a checklist, just a roadmap that we need. I'm going to stop for a second and tell you, I was telling Taja my story yesterday. I had a buyer buying new construction, and he thought this was a blue tape meeting with the builder. But what I have learned over the last 7 days is that builders do those first builder walkthroughs very differently now. What I was assuming was a blue tape meeting, I was calling a blue tape meeting. The builder did not think that it was. The builder brought one piece of tape, one roll of tape on his arm and did not give that to the buyer.
Was it trophy signature?
It was not, but it was in the neighborhood, in that area.
Everyone.
Well, yeah, I went to one with Riverside last week and there was no blue tape at all. Even the builder didn't bring it. He said, I've walked the house. This is the condition the house is going to be in. This is what you're going to buy.
Hell no.
Here is this is the oven. This is how it works. There's the water heater. This is how it works. And we
Did
were
you
there
have an
in 45
inspection
minutes.
done
We
prior
did.
to that? And did you give them the
We
list?
did, and they fixed everything.
Oh.
He went through the
So
list.
cosmetic things, they don't want you to do.
They don't want you to nitpick anymore.
Yeah.
The drywall. and
So
the-
that's something that I think that we should, as professionals, it's not a blue tape meeting anymore. It's going to be a hybrid. It's going to be something different. You need to check with your builder on new construction to say, hey, your first builder walk, what does that look like? It's not, you can't.
No, just a second.
Well, I assumed, and I literally had to stop a fist fight in a house yesterday afternoon
Oh,
at 2:00.
what?
Yes, and the buyer he's very mechanical, he's not a pilot or engineer, but he thinks like
He
one.
thinks like one.
He's
yeah,
line by
that's all that
line.
matters.
This is what needs to be done. He bought a measuring device, a laser measure mounted on a tripod in to make sure the mantle was.
Was he a land surveyor?
Huh?
The land surveyor?
No,
He just
he
has,
just, he
he's
just,
just a nerd
he
that
just,
way.
he's wired that way. So I'll tell you all the story. I'll show you the picture if you want to see it. The builder took a picture of it because they were really upset and the buyer was really upset, and I had to literally take people into different rooms and calm them down to not have a fist fight. And first time that's ever happened.
What builder was it?
We're not going to discuss that because it's. But,
You know.
but it was my fault because I didn't set the expectations right with the buyer, and I didn't set the expectations with the builder of what the buyer.
Or
who the buyer
confirm,
was.
yeah.
I
I
didn't
wonder where
set
the
those.
builder didn't set those expectations when they said, you're in contract, I'll meet you on this day and this is what we're gonna do.
Well,
Fake name builder?
It just seemed like.
We'll talk about that.
For dealing with some of
I'm
these
not
bills.
gonna get sued over this, I promise. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna-
no.
I've got the proof, but I'm not gonna get sued. Okay, so why deadlines and dates matter? Deadlines don't kill deals, mismanaged deadlines do. Missed dates create liability, lost earnest money, client distrust, and brokerage exposure. This is not paperwork, this is risk management. So you are the timeline owner. The lender doesn't own it, title doesn't own it, the other agent doesn't own it. You guys have all been in transactions with other agents that don't pay attention to what's written in the contract. The deadlines are in the contract for a reason. The deadlines must be identified, calendared on your side, communicated and addressed before expiration. Explanations don't protect you, execution does. So here's what a 30-day contract might look like. You guys, all of you are professionals, y'all have seen this. For newer agents, as I'm doing this class for them in the future, this is something that will be good for them to see. When do these things actually occur? When do we actually get these things? This is the rhythm of a regular 30-day transaction. But if you don't know the rhythm, you lose control. The dangerous deadlines, the ones that hurt, option fee delivery. option period expiration, financing deadline, title objection deadline, closing date. If you miss these, protections disappear. Most TREC complaints are not fraud. They are
Also,
usually on these dates.
the other one on here that I've seen people get really tricky with is the seller's disclosure
Mhm.
delivery. If they
Absolutely.
don't have it already, people will put 1 day in there.
Oh.
And if you don't have it to them the next day, you're in default.
That's
Like,
You can terminate
yep,
That's
at any point.
at any
At
point.
at any point up
At
to
any
the point of
point up
closing.
till the point of closing.
Patty,
Oh, that's the tricky one.
Because
They
I
add
mean,
stuff later.
somebody did it to me and I started using it now because it is a great protection from the buyer.
Buyer.
Patty has a question. Hang on. Patty?
No question. We're just over here also saying we should probably add in HOA deadlines in there.
I think that's a great call. HOA and the seller's disclosure. I will put those two things on this list for when later today when I go back and redo it. But yes, thank you. Thank you.
Well, and I would say, and almost put them in your calendar and have a 48
Okay, well, now
hour
you're getting
reminder.
Watch the rest of my class. You would know these things. Kidding. It's just jokes. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Option period reminder. Hey, your option period expires tomorrow at 5. After that, you cannot terminate without risking earnest money. Obviously, we all know that there's like 70 ways to get out of a contract. But the option period is a really big milestone. If you need more time, we must negotiate today. The financing deadline to the lender. Hey, I'm confirming the status of the loan so we don't lose protections. Language equals leadership. And it's such a great reminder when I was writing this class, and then that happened to me yesterday about setting those expectations. And so, yeah, Brian felt like a real big slob last night, sitting on the couch going, holy crap, I missed something huge. But I learned something huge.
Yeah.
When something goes wrong, if a deadline is missed, you need to document it, notify all parties, access the impact, call me if it's material, if it's big, amend it in writing. If something is missed, reach out for help early, not after trying to fix it quietly, because silence decreases liability.
Yeah.
So reach out, even on Slack, and say, hey, missed something. What do you guys think? I promise I'll jump in if it's big, I promise. Or you can, Tajo will just call me and go, "What?"
I'll
That's
call
right.
you on Christmas.
That happens. Extensions, do it right. Extensions are not casual. Identify them early, be factual, propose an exact new date, and get signatures before expiration. No verbal promises ever. This is where seasoned agents lean in. Now, have we all done a verbal promise and say, my client's driving from Austin to Dallas and it's 4:55 and he won't stop and sign. You have my word that he's going to sign this when he stops in Waco at 6:15. Yes, we've all done it. Is it really good? Probably not, because we really need to get those before the expiration. But extensions are very, very important and an easy way to do something, especially like with the ice. I had to extend the auction period and a HOA delivery because everybody was closed for 5 days.
Yeah.
So those things, they're easy to extend, especially if you call the other agent and you've been cooperative to start with and say, hey, ice killed us. We can't get the inspector over there till Thursday. That's the earliest that the ice was going to melt. So we won't see the report till Friday. We saw it Thursday. But then we need to extend the rest of the dates as well. One date moves, everything else must be reviewed. Is the closing extended? Well, does the financing deadline still safe? Is title still protected? Possession timing adjusted. Never assume you're constantly looking at the finish line. The third party discipline, check-in standards. Lender, 48 hours initially, and then weekly starting at day 7. I love lenders that send me a weekly update through email. That is so beautiful. I love seeing it on Tuesday morning. Here's what's going on. Here's what we're waiting on. That's perfect. What I hate is a lender that sends you nothing, that you never hear from. And if I'm picking up the phone to call a lender, probably not using that lender again. Weekly starting day 7, confirm approval before the deadline. For title, we all usually use title people that we like and that we know, but when we're representing a buyer and the seller's already done title work and they're paying for it, then we're using some no-name title company in Mineola, Texas, that I'm having to call every 48 hours. That's a pain, but that's part of the job. Confirm funds on day 1. Obviously, you're going to get the earnest money and option receipt, and hopefully that will come, within that first 3 days. But you want to be following up on day 14. And then I usually try to start logistics planning a week before we close. Trust but verify. A lack of communication is lack of performance. Deadlines are communication. Tracking is communication. Reminders are communication. This is culture. This is who we want to be. This is why I'm using lack of communication in the deadlines class, because I think it's so important that we as an office, as agents, try to do this better, because the industry has failed in a lot of ways. And you guys have worked for all those people. But this is something that I think we should aspire to. The bottom line, deadlines are not administrative tasks, they are professional obligations. Agents who own the calendar communicate early, act before expiration, close deals with less stress. If you own the calendar, you can control leverage. Those who don't control the calendar often react to surprises. Action. Today we clarified rhythm. Deadlines are not admin tasks of professional discipline. This week, audit your current contract pipeline, identify every active deadline, confirm nothing is assumed, close the communication loop. For me, when I get a house in contract, I put Smith Avenue, EXE on my calendar, and then I start counting days. And I go option period. Option expires on this day. Title is due this day. Financing deadline is this day. Expected closing date. That all goes on my calendar immediately once I start a contract. That way it's on, that way.
You mean
when
your Google Calendar or your physical?
well, I don't use a physical calendar.
Okay,
but-
neither do I, that's all.
but on Google, but that way, when I look at my phone
Yeah.
and I look at the calendar, it says Smith Street or whatever the name of the street is, option EXP. I just put OpEx, and I know that that means option expires. That I'm already thinking about it, but at least I know what day it expires.
Yeah.
I don't like to put 5 p.m. on there because I know that. I know it expires at 5. But for title, I can't. I have missed a title deadline before, and the title company didn't send us title in time. It's 20 days. It says in the contract, it never changes. But you've also got your HOA deadline. Brian had a question yesterday on Slack about the condo that wasn't they couldn't get
Yeah, that's equal to refill or whatever.
the resale certificate or the condo docs,
Yeah.
and they weren't responding. That's in the contract. If you're not gonna make that deadline, you gotta get that extended. Those are things that you've gotta be constantly apprised of, so that you're owning your own calendar. So what do? Calendar every deadline within 1 day of execution. That's the day you put it under contract, you're like, well, I'm gonna go celebrate. Before you do that, spend 20 minutes and put it on your calendar so you know the deadlines. You know where they are. Set 48-hour reminders before expiration. If you put it as a Google event, like on your Google Calendar, you can set notification 2 days in advance, and that'll notify you, pop up something on your phone or computer that says, hey, title's due in 2 days. Do you have it? Okay, I got it. No, I can put that notification away. Communicate
Oh, I can't.
deadlines proactively. Not yet. Yes, you have a comment?
I was like, yes, Jen. Let me get that.
Mansfield, do y'all have a comment?
They muted. She
They knew,
remuted.
they knew.
Oh, you unmuted by accident. Okay, no problem. Confirm lender and title progress weekly. Guys, the order of this really isn't optional. It's what separates professionals from reactive agents. Because people that react, that's when they get in a panic, and then things go really south very quickly. What's next? Next week, we're going to hit inspections, expectation management, and emotional leadership. And Brian, with my latest learning that I went through, that hopefully you guys never have to go through, of breaking up a fight at a builder walkthrough. Some of that's going to be on the inspection. The professional negotiations, I actually wrote that class this week, and so I was able to use some of the things that I was writing in my fist fight yesterday. And the de-escalation stuff that I talk about in professional negotiations, I actually used yesterday by separating people and calming people down and bringing it back to where we could finish a walkthrough. Week 5, I'm going to give you the full guide. I'm going to give you the whole thing, which is client facing. What we're going through is the agent theology of the client facing document that I'm going to give you. Then you can brand it your own. You can use every bit of it. You can use none of it. It's up to you. I'm going to give you a quick overview and a cheat sheet that brings all this together. And that'll be the last week of March. In April, we'll have Jamie come in for the first week. And then the rest of April and May will be a deep dive, and I'm calling it irreplaceable agent. It's AI backwards. But it's using, for us to be able to get in front of AI, and I'm just writing the class now, usually about 4 o'clock in the morning, so if you're up before, you can text me, I'll probably text you back. But it's called the irreplaceable agent, and it's how we're gonna be able to not be scared of AI, but use AI to our benefit. And if you'll notice, the 3 classes that we've done in the fall, this one and that one, they're all gonna run together. The class that we're going through right now, your guide to Texas real estate, is actually the first class. It's about being the realtor. The second class is small steps, big results, which is about doing the daily activities, having the habits to do those things. And then the third class is the AI, the IA, irreplaceable agent, and that's compounding what those daily habits do. So that's the scope of what I'm trying to put together for you guys.
Oh, is there a class on spring break?
Now, the week of spring break, we're off.
Okay,
Yeah, nobody will be here.
we'll give you the.
Fort Worth spring break. We're going off Fort Worth
We'll
ISD
do
spring
that on your
break.
PTO.
Yeah.
Do what now?
Just
We'll put that, we'll take that off your PTO.
Oh, and, Patty texted me yesterday and with a weird looking document. And she said, is this for real? If you get a weird document, if you're using Outlook, I don't know if it was just Patty or if it was other people, but it was like a Google Doc that if you opened it, it was a virus that would have spread. But it said, it had like a QR code on it, and they wanted you to go to this site, and it was an audio recording, and it said, layoff, I think it was layoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, it said, 6th Avenue HR, layoff notices. I was like, oh goodness, I'm being laid off.
Was that on there?
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
So if you get something like that, that is probably spam. If you ever get a text from a weird number that says, hey, I'm at a conference and it's from me and I'm asking you to go buy Walmart cards, it's probably spam. But it happens occasionally. It'll come through Jimmy too. So, but you guys can always reach out to me through text. If you ever have a question, text me first, please. That's it for the class today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Next week, we have Liz Deegan and Midnight Title. Please come at 9:45 if you can, because I hate it when it's just me and Danielle sitting here looking at the sponsor going, there's a lot of people coming.
Was that what was happening? I was
Uh-huh.
watching it on video. I was like, I don't see anything.
It was literally just us
Yeah.
for a very long time.
And then Taja showed up and Holly showed up and I was like, okay, there's 4 of us, but if y'all can get here at 9:45, I would sincerely appreciate it. Mansfield, thank you for joining us. I hope the technology was okay. And things will get better as we get this better. You guys, I think you're still unmuted, so y'all can talk to us.
Yay, we're very excited.
We only
Well, I
had
appreciate, I really appreciate you guys being there. It was good to see you on camera, and I love the camera. I think we need to put the camera down just a little bit so I can see more of the faces, but overall, it's good. So thank you guys very much. I
Yay,
appreciate you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
camera down. Just how do we do
I think he wants it this way.
Here, give us a love. Did you give us a love?
I did. I